Welcome to episode 103 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
Ooh, I'm Stevie Wildcard.
Every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together. We do our best to take all of our issues and we throw them in the garbage and get something done. Most recently, it's been a supernatural action comedy book called Deathless. Steven, it's going freaking phenomenally. I love it. I don't know, last time we made a comic together, previously on We Have Issues, we made a book. It was a semi-autobiographical time travel graphic novel musical. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. called Play It Again. Steven, we had a bunch of weird hiccups. It was sad to write. It was sad to work on for me. I went through a lot and I was even as we were getting through it, I didn't necessarily feel the accomplishment of it because I was still kind of weighed down by it. None of that's happening with this. We're doing this, and every time I see a page from this come together, it's just we're gonna be the very best. I'm just I get so happy. I'm just this is our Pikachu. This is amazing. I love this book so much, and I love I feel like I've learned so much working on the previous book and working on this, and it looks gorgeous, dude. And your colors look so good. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Steven, what have you been working on this week so we can show some people?
So I think, unless you haven't sent me everything, I think I've shaded every page that you've sent me, and I've started shading the pages that I had. How I think around page 16 or 17 is when I started really doing a lot of the lighting effects and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've started coloring those pages because they're easier for me to just full flat, for example, the hotel bedroom when it's midnight is blue, and I'm shading and lighting everything from that blue standpoint. But yeah, so I think I do remember you posting an image of the group shot colored though.
Yeah.
And I don't have that. I don't think in the link.
Okay. I'll look this week and I'll see because I
have everything shaded so far. And then what we'll do from here is I'll keep shading the pages that I had basically laid colors on myself, like the ones later, and you just keep lettering. And if I finish shading, I'll just start coloring. But if you finish lettering, you can start. That's how we'll do it. We'll just tighten it up and move.
The lettering process. So this week, I feel like I was totally successful. I did so many pages this week. I think I got to 12 or 13 or so. I've been lettering like crazy, and it's been awesome, and it looks so good. It's so cool how readable this freaking book is, and I truly, not that it's not my favorite part of the process, but I love that during writing I get a chance at second drafting dialogue.
You see how it works in the mood with the picture too.
Yeah,
I bet the art helps.
I can shift things around. If someone interrupts someone, I can put that balloon a little over the other balloon and play with stuff. And it's been so much fun to kind of retell the story in the words like that. It's been great. I wanted to finish it because I know I can do it. If I dedicate the time, I can sit down and just get it done. But this week, Steven, I got some news. I got a random message from the past. I had a dark, just weirdness, just shadow cast over me this week. Yeah. So for those of you who might not know, Steven and I recently lost one of our closest friends. It was really hard for a while. We went through it. We talked about it. We had an extended, a mourning period and such. It probably showed in some of our episodes. Trying to, just kind of get through that water a little bit.
It makes me think of that. This is a dark fucking period. What was that? Was that Anchorman? He said, or where was that from? No, I think it was Dewey Cox. It was Walk. Yeah. This is a dark fucking period. That's what.
Dude, so yeah, we had a dark freaking period, and we're going through it, and I had it. For those of you who might have been on that journey with us, I had a series of unfortunate events where it was just disappointment after disappointment while looking for certain things that our friend created with me or with us, and so I was looking for music that we made. My friend and I my friend was a singer, and we would always play music together. We'd go out and play at bars and cafes and do mic nights and play at parties, and we did all this. We also wrote songs together and recorded songs together, and I was just I'm so into this. I love this, and it was so much fun. We played a talent show, which we beat Steven, no big deal. Not gonna not rubbing it in.
Two awards one night, huh?
2 awards one night. No, so we played together. So we posted a lot of that music online, and I thought stupidly, the internet is forever. I can just put this on this website that claims that it's like, oh, this is a good place to post your music, and I put it on there. That site was purchased by someone else, turned a different website altogether, completely destroyed all, or like got rid of all of our music. So it was no longer found. As I couldn't find it on MySpace, couldn't find it on Pure Volume or whatever. Like all these.
Dude, same with the Vines too. Like Tina and Josh and Mike made so many Vines together. Like literally hours of content we could have just watched, just funny jokes and.
Yeah, just go on.
Like, it's not on there forever. You lied.
Yeah. However, I received a message from one of my ex-girlfriends, a person I dated in my early 20s, like for like late teens to mid 20s almost. This is one of my longest relationships I've ever been in, and I dated this person, and throughout our relationship, I made her several mix CDs because I'm an old person. You know, so it was like before playlists, you know, like I'd make CDs and I'd play songs and I'd record them and I'd give them to her on CDs and stuff. And so she just was given so many CDs. I imagined they were just gone as well. I would never have contacted her.
Yeah, why would you still have those?
Yeah, I wouldn't contact her and be like, hey, do you have any of these CDs that I wouldn't even consider that. However, she contacted me. And she said she happened to be on a road trip and her Wi-Fi situation was gone. Like she had no connection whatsoever. And she was like, she had to resort to CDs. So she looked through her car and she found an old CD booklet, you know, like we used to have, like the dinosaur bones that just held the CDs. And among them she said most of them were just things that I made. And thankfully, one of them was this incredible CD full of 8 songs that Mike and I recorded in my parents' bedroom when I was like 18 years old, you know? So I was like 18 years old with Mike, and we recorded these songs on like a simple single computer mic and like Windows recorder and like played it.
Oh man, those are the days.
Dude, so I thought all of those songs were gone forever, you know? So I got them. So I got to listen to them, and they came this week. So it was kind of like I was so preoccupied with that. It was just like myopic, like just singularly focused on getting that music and just like consuming it, you know? And like I did. As soon as that CD came, I uploaded it. I listened to it just like all the way through, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what was on there, because we had like one of the first songs we ever wrote together was on there, and then also like just like the first song we ever recorded was like the Cut Like Knives song, which like so my friend Mike and I wanted to play music together, and we didn't have anything to sing aside from like cover songs, so I started just playing this thing, and we didn't have any lyrics. And you know, like you don't want to sit there and spend an hour writing down lyrics. Sometimes if you do it too quickly, it comes across, it's like too cheesy or whatever, you know, so and it's a lot of stress, like if you're sitting there with someone trying to write lyrics, you know? So I was like, oh, I used to do this stupid thing on LiveJournal where I just like pretended I was dark and deep and just it wasn't trolling, but it was kind of trolling at the time, but like basically I would go on there and just be like, I'm just dark, deep soul and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't my personal account. It was an account I shared with a friend, and we would just share like do this like as a character kind of. And it was just a joke, but I wrote this thing, and it was kind of like a bitter comment, but it worked. Somehow it was like kind of poetic and weird and dark and like depressing, and not necessarily like stuff we believe, but stuff that sounds cool in a song, you know? So like we started singing it, and we called it Cut Like Knives, and it was fun. I never thought I'd hear that again. And never. Like,
it was in the back of my mind. It's like back there with like Colin's song, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's just songs that from my youth that I remember. Oh, but dude, yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, like so you were definitely preoccupied with all that.
Yeah, dude. So like I was working, like I worked really hard on getting lettering done. I got a lot done, so I feel super proud about it. Like
same with the flats, like I or not flats, the shades. Like I wanted more done. I want to finish so we can start sending it to print. You know, like that's what I want.
Can't wait to see this freaking book and to just get it in people's hands. You know, like people. I'm so excited for everyone to read this freaking book. I feel like we're like right on this weird precipice of like, you know, this book, this greatness. You know, like something's happening. I feel that way about a lot of things right now. Like, dude, I'm on the verge. I'm actively kind of like doing the slow tornado move of moving in with my girlfriend Amy. You know, like I'm slowly,
which is so awesome.
like picking up the stuff from this house and just dropping it in the like odds, you know, like of her, you know. I'm dropping it on witches everywhere, wherever I can. I'm just like killing witches left and right. It's a storm of my junk. No, that's not.
And when you click your heels, you actually just appear there again. It's just
yeah,
boom, boom, boom. This is home. So
I mean, God, that technology, that traveling technology. You know, I have so many questions, but like one of them is if the witch had the technology of clicking heels to teleport, why is she hit by houses so simply? Like so easily. Like she is just targeted. How fast was that house moving?
It's gotta be because of the 3 times rule. Like if it was just clicking, you're gone. But she's like, oh, she click. Like, I already got 2 clicks in.
And then the other witch comes down. She's like, that's why I travel by bubble.
Bubbles are safe.
Yeah, bubbles
There's
are
no
safe.
place like home. There's no place like home. There's boom. That's right. It's too
Bubble
late.
every time, baby. It works for Mario. It works for me.
Yeah, the other witch just comes in.
But it's true. Like I've been in this like weird, not like precarious like position, but just like in this weird amorphous place where I'm just like I'm a man of 2 worlds, you know, like I'm existing in 2 places at once, and it's weird, you know. It's like
I just imagine you putting in Metallica's like cover of Turn the Page on every time. Here I am. Like some nomad, like just on the desert, but
it's how it feels, Steven. It's how I know. But no, it's I think the problem for me has been it's kind of it's stressful because we have so much fun while we're there, and we really have just like everything's gone so well, and like our relationships have been like developing, and it's just wonderful, and it's just like constantly like evolving into like this really beautiful situation. But what happens is my only time to be productive is when like Atlas goes to bed. But then it's like to get him to bed, I'm like, oh, I have to go home, and then I have like once I'm home, I have to get him in bed. But it feels weird because now we're home, so it's like it's like a fish out of water situation where you have to acclimate to the other house before I throw him in bed, or else it feels uncomfortable and it feels like good and go to bed. And it's just weird. So I'm like, we have to. I don't feel. I haven't even been home, and then I look at my bed and I'm like, oh, those are clothes from 4 days ago. You know, I have not been home enough to do that. Like I've been home enough to get the laundry and put them on the bed. I know that part, you know, but it was like, it's just been like finding time to be productive and do home stuff while I'm in 2 separate places has not been easy lately, you know, but
it's a good problem to have though. It's a great problem to have.
It's the best freaking problem. It's like the world's like most ridiculous violin, like playing like a beautiful symphony for me, because like
it's like an Irish like jig.
Yeah, I'm so like, no, it's amazing. Like it's such a cool problem. And because I know it's temporary, and like the best thing is it's a problem that's like created by a good thing happening, where I'm like, oh, this just feels uncomfortable because it's like the transition of change. Like I'm like, it's like going through a threshold with like bubble juice through the doorway, and I'm just like getting into the bubble, and I'm like, oh no, I'm in the bubble. I know how to travel. And I'm like, you can't penetrate this bubble, baby. And it's like, anyway, I'm a witch is what I'm saying. I'm a good witch. Good witch, Steve. No, but we're getting there, dude. We haven't like set a stern date yet, but we should probably talk about it, you know, because I'm going back there tonight. I'm gonna sleep there tonight. I'm recording here. I already emptied out my bookshelves over here, and like, you know, like it's weird. I'm slowly I think what's going to happen is we're going to record like this one week, and then the next week I'm just going to have a different, like, I'm going to be in a new place.
You should do though right now is
take a picture,
take a screenshot so you can use this background with a green screen until you got that set up, because that's a lot of stuff to hang. I'm just putting it out there.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, even if I don't, like, I could literally just never change it and just live in a completely different place and just pull a Sean and just be like, no, this is just always
when Sean has my background, like obviously I can tell because there's things that like weren't that way for a while, but I'm like, man, it straight up just looks like he's in my room. Like it freaks me out. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a week though. But dude, I'm also super excited this week because Steven, I've been cheating on you. I've been cheating on you, Steven. I've been cheating on you. I've been just stepping out, just like the Worst friend. No, I've been participating in another podcast that's a Dungeons and Dragons, like real-time play podcast, full of comedic nonsense called Critically Stupid, and it's going to release this week, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait, dude. So much so, like I'm so excited about it that I was like, you know what we should do is we should have the other guy, like my friend who like I'm seeing outside of this relationship. We should have him on our show to like juice it up a bit. So I wanted to have him on and do a segment, if that's cool with you.
Oh, it sounds great, dude. Go ahead and invite that mofo in. He doesn't have like a nickname like Dr. J or anything, does he? Because that'd be crazy.
That's genius. We should okay. You and I. Like he's gonna think it's like this like cat like it just happens naturally in conversation, and we're gonna play a lot. We're gonna play it up. We're gonna play it up for him, and he's gonna love it. Watch it. He's gonna be like, I am Dr. J. It's gonna work. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna do our monster test segment with Alexander James. All right. We listen, Dr. James. We've said enough.
DJ over here.
Yeah, Dr. J. I like Dr. J.
Dr. J. Dr. J sounds good.
Dr. J. We've spoken a lot about your publishing, a little bit about D&D. I know from because we talked about it previously on this interview that we're doing right now that you love dragons. You love fantasy and dragons and all sorts of things. Dragons. We are going to do a segment with you called the Monster Test. Stephen, will you hit me with that sweet monster test?
I always forget what it's the Monster Test. I don't know what the theme song was, but this is the theme song today because it's the Monster Test. Didn't rhyme. Is that good?
But
Perfect.
You need the This is Monster Test Dragon Edition, featuring Alexander James, who's going to do most of the talking, because just like when you're asking about like space and NASA, you go to someone like Alex, right? Like when you're talking about like
with dragons.
God. No. So wait. Alex is the DM, Dungeon Master, 4 years. I know he's a fantastic Dungeon Master, excellent storyteller, knows much more than I do about dragons, and I'd like to pick his brain a little bit. We have questions. First of all, what the heck is a dragon to begin with?
A dragon is a magical creature that lives for a very long time, that has power. My favorite thing about dragons is the way that dragons are intertwined with like human mythology. Every culture has its own, which is so yes. it's so cool because like you can go like East Asia has incredibly intricate dragon lore, but their dragons are elongated and don't have wings, and they have these incredibly like ornate faces. And then you talk about like Western mythology dragons, and they're these monstrous quadrupeds with huge wings, and they live to be 1 billion years old. And then there's Celtic dragons. Like what a dragon looks like and is differs entirely on who you're talking to, and that's like it's incredible to me.
What we're really talking about here is somewhat reptilian creatures that can ascend from the ground, just like ascend into space and disappear. Monsters, like they're aliens. It's just aliens. Every culture is just explaining aliens. Using. Think about it. If you're not us, modern day, we're like, oh, we have ships of some sort we can look at. But if you were. If you're ancient cultures and you barely have seen a ship on sea, like at best, that's the height of your technology is,
And if you think about it, they would be spewing fire from one side at least,
That's what I'm saying. So what if there was a propulsion system spewing fire, and maybe they saw the creatures, and when they were trying to explain to people using whatever dialect or language that they had, at their disposal, they're like, it's a creature of this sort, and it flew, and it was like they couldn't necessarily separate the vessel from the creature.
Its skin was sleek, smooth,
now, here's the thing.
Like a lizard.
I don't actually want to spend all this time talking about the fact that dragons are potentially aliens. I just wanted to throw that out there because I have a lot.
I just want to gently suggest that dragons may or may not be aliens.
May or may not. But okay. That is fascinating, though. Like, I love exactly what you said is incredible. Like, do you happen to have any kind of knowledge? I mean, true or like, do you have anything that can account for that? You know, them being spread across the globe in such a way.
Yeah, because it was before like trade routes, right? Like that's the whole thing. Is like these cultures had these depictions of these serpents, like before there was any connection. So it is interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be really careful how I tread here because I want to be super upfront and say that I have no stake in these different cultures that I am not a part of. So like any conjecture that I'm making right now is exactly that. It is conjecture. I think that there is something that captures every human's imagination about, because like if you think about it, like snakes and lizards, which are essentially like various forms of tiny dragons, like what if this tiny mostly harmless thing was actually like this incredible being of strength and grace and power? What would that look like? How would that impact us? And I love the different roles that dragons take, because obviously in Dungeons and Dragons, especially as a fantasy game, like dragons run the spectrum between good and evil, lawful and chaotic and everything. And several cultures view dragons as protectors, but others are like view them as world enders. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so fascinating that we have taken this tiny thing and been like, oh no, what if that ended the world?
That is incredible. Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating.
Deathwing from World of Warcraft, just
so okay. So there's something about like dragons always either hoard or devour gold in some way. They, you know, Dude, like they're like
they also share half of their heart to an undeserving king. Okay,
every time.
What?
Sorry. It was only one who did that, and he was the last one, Steve.
He was the last one, and he was Sean Connery, and he was the best dragon I knew.
Oh my god.
Okay, wait. I'm just gonna put it like just for 1 second, guys. What I know of gold is that it is created in like an ultra ridiculous amount of pressure, right? Like think about this for a second. It's like literal stars exploding is how a huge percentage of gold is created. Like the center of stars fusion, like boom, like explosion, just put her on the universe, which means to some degree they are incredibly dense molecularly. There is a lot of energy within them, right? So what I'm saying is, what if there's an alien species out there who comes to Earth, whose fuel source is gold-based, because they can harness the energy from the stars that the gold comes from. So they find a way to harness that energy via gold. Therefore, the dragons are known for hoarding and collecting gold because they needed it for the energy. Because they're aliens, guys. They're aliens, is what I'm saying.
Damn it! How did I not see that coming back around?
I don't know what he's saying right now, but it's starting to make a lot of sense.
I'm sorry.
Somebody get NASA on the horn. We got to talk about this one with the big boys.
Dr. J's calling us? Okay, 1 second.
So, okay, but as far as like the gold obsession and like, or whatever their relationship is, I'm not really sure what that is, and that's why I'm asking you. So like, it's kind of like the monster test. Like, what is the relationship between dragons and gold, and why would that be? And is it explained in D&D versus other myths and legends that you know of?
Sure, yeah. So various dragons, as I just spoke about, like the spectrum of like dragon intelligence and lawfulness, they also vary pretty widely in terms of intelligence. The smartest being red and gold dragons on sort of opposite ends of the good and evil spectrum. Smarter than like wildly intelligent, beyond the bounds of just being a smart animal. We're talking like leaps and bounds ahead of like the smartest human. You know, because they also live for centuries. So they've got this incredible amount of like wisdom and store of knowledge built up. All of this to say, they know exactly the power that money buys. So much like my main man, Elon Musk, love you, Elon, hoarding money and not doing anything beneficial with it is a really relatable thing that I think a lot of us do.
I like that. I like that you low-key just like you just pointed out that you believe Elon Musk is a humanoid dragon.
So that's okay. So one of my favorite little dragon tidbits is that dragons who live long enough and get and amass enough knowledge, build up the ability to like cast spells and become wizards, and they can turn themselves into humans and walk around and exist.
When I think of like dragon, like in World of Warcraft, like all the dragon flights, they can all shift into like the different like races of World of Warcraft. Like they can shift into elves and things like that. So.
Well, do you remember, I once did a Pitches Get Stitches on our show for Vampire, and it was about a dragon who learned that if he drank human blood, he can take on the form of humans. So he essentially was a vampire who lived for centuries, and then he got to the point where he was no longer willing to feed on the filth of, so like he became a dragon again. Anyway.
Incredible.
But yeah, no, dude, that's amazing. Steven, do you have any questions about dragons? Because I have a bunch.
I just think like that whole thing about like, like the wealthy become like the magic and they're actually dragons, like, is like, if that was true and they were dragons, it would like lead just the too much credence to the whole alien, like the lizard people run the world. Like, I don't know, it's just funny to me. It'd be funny if it came full circle and gave them credit. Like they really are dragons. You guys weren't wrong.
Yeah, like this episode is gonna make it like 15 minutes on air before like you get like a government shutdown and like both of your homes get knocked into.
It could happen.
We get the wrong people supporting us for no reason. We're not talking about lizard people. Listen,
I mean, we are.
We are, but not those.
Do not want the lizard people.
Yeah, we want the lizard.
Like that is a passionate
Don't listen to him.
community.
He might be one of them. He's trying to hoard gold. I've been to his house. No. So okay, but Alex. So I do know. Just by reading some of the, Monster Manual or Player's Handbook and such, like there are Dragonborn characters in D&D. Yeah. I don't know about their origin though. I don't understand. Like I just don't know how that happens. Like are those human dragon hybrids of some sort, or is that just like you said, like part of the spectrum of dragon? Or
essentially, yeah, they're a human dragon hybrid. In I want to say 4th edition, Dungeons and Dragons introduced in the core races a couple of non-human hybrids that were really, really interesting, because there was always elves and dwarves and halflings, all of the Lord of the Rings stuff that we all grew up with. Yeah. But
Gollum
4th edition
should have just had the ring the whole time. I'm just gonna throw this gauntlet out there. Now here's the thing.
We're pro Gollum on this podcast.
Okay.
That's the stance we're taking.
The stance I'm taking real hard, real fast right now, hot take, is that Gollum had the ring for hundreds of years and withstood that particular like he wanted it. He felt the temptation. He tried it on a few times. Hundreds of years he had it in this cave. And it wasn't until Bilbo came in and was like, "Oh, I want that there were any issues." Like no one think about this. No one could find the ring. Like no one was hardly even looking for it at that point. It's like, but Gollum has it. Gollum has it. No one knew where he was. He somehow just cracked that case and was down there, got to enjoy it and everything.
So is Gollum a dragon confirmed, or is Bilbo a dragon confirmed? Who's stealing the gold ring?
Maybe they're both. Maybe they're both dragons somehow.
One of the rings is actually about warring dragon factions.
I mean, Gollum was obsessed enough. Gollum was obsessed enough that someone could just cut Bilbo and Frodo out of the picture, go to Gollum, be like, "Yo, there's another one of these rings at the bottom of that volcano," and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm in!" Like, boom,
just leaps in
first, like swan dive, baby. Like,
I mean, he basically did that anyway,
right? Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I do this for free.
For a living. All right. What was the question? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Dragonborn, and you were saying how, like, in the
okay. So, Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition introduced some really cool non-human hybrids. One of which was a tiefling, and one of which was a dragonborn. And there's I'm going to say at this point 50-50 shot that I'm going to get this right or wrong. So if I get it wrong, my name is Stevie Wildcard. So tieflings were sort of like really, really long descended humans with demon blood in them. And dragonborn were not as long, but a distant descendant of an actual dragon. The origins of which I will leave gently tucked into the mists of time, because there's some behind the bedroom door stuff there that I don't particularly feel like going into. But these dragonborn did have traits of their dragon ancestors. For example, if you were a blue or a blue dragonborn, you had an ability after you leveled up a little bit where you could breathe ice, and you had scales, and as you leveled up, you could your scales maybe turn blue, and like there was all kinds of really cool flavor that you could could add into this campaign. And also like just naturally like super strong and pretty smart. And like there was a really cool race that Wizards introduced in Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, which is a shame because the actual mechanics of 4th edition were dog shit, and I will say that publicly.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Okay, so Steven, I'll let you because you're a good judge. You're the best judge I know. You're fair, but you know you're kind, fair, and true is what I know of you. So, what do you think about Alex? Did he pass the monster test? Does he know about dragons?
I feel like usually the monster test is administered to me and like I flunk it. So I feel like Alex is like the first one that's actually like gonna, leave this with a passing grade. So
yes,
oh, did it. All right.
Very exciting.
I mean, I wouldn't have been as I would have said like solid B there. Like just like
I'll take it. Honestly, I will take
B's passing.
No.
That's right. B for beautiful, baby.
I think honestly that was one of my favorites. I've been wanting to go back to the monster test segment, but we haven't. But I was like, I don't want people to get sick of it, and there are only so many monsters that are used over time, like time and time again, So, but I think this was a good one. I hadn't even considered dragon, to be honest with you.
I'm always thinking horror monsters.
I think horror more often, and you know what? Fantastic. You're amazing.
Cryptids come up like way more often, like the it clown or the like all that stuff, and those are all great. But like, whenever I think of monsters, I go straight to the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual because like that's where I grew up.
And we're back. So everyone go check out Alexander James and all of his awesome links. Please check out our Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I'll post the trailer for it at the end of this, and you can check out his full interview soon. I'll release it as soon as possible. So Steven, that was fun. I loved having Alex on. I thought he was a great guest. I think we're getting the hang of this situation. We're still working with like the time frames and like dealing with when everything's going to get released. But how do you feel so far about like our new format?
It just like everything else we've done. This like Steve was an amazing guest, but it was like drawing page one of Play It Again, like on our side of things. The guests are great. Like we're the ones that are learning over here, but no. I can see the progress already from as we move along, and I think this is going to be a great format for what we're trying to do. Like because we're creators, but we love creators, so we want to also celebrate creators while we create. You know what I'm saying? That makes the most sense. Like why wouldn't we do that? So I think it's going to work out. We just got to figure out, like you said, we got to figure out like I still think a good schedule would probably be Wednesday, Saturday. Okay. But we'll see what works out though. Because the whole Monday thing might work too because of questions. Like we, send people to that interview to comment questions to ask us on that night's episode and that we can answer, Question. Yeah. If you move in with Amy, do you have the good internet?
Yes, we should.
Oh man, that's exciting.
So, and like she's incredible, and like to her like angelic like goddess like credit, she's just like if it turns out that my internet's not good enough, we'll just get better internet. Now it's like she said that, I was just like, you're the sweetest person. Like you are just made awesome. Of like you are sugar spice and everything I love in the world.
Literally like the first sentence like she ever said to me, like I don't remember the exact words, but she was just such a warm and inviting human being, like from the get. Like there's
dude, she is like just made of love and support, and like she's so funny. I don't know. I'm so happy with her, and it's crazy. And I'm just like, has everyone abandoned me yet? Do I have to be miserable? Do I have to teach you guys like how deep this goes with my?
Sorry, Anthony. This is the part of your story where I have to die unexpectedly.
No, Steven, you like I'm pretty sure.
I'm desk real quick.
Oh my gosh, I literally.
My desk is actually made of wood. I built it, everybody, because my room smells of rich mahogany. No,
all right, dude. So what are you gonna do this week? What are you gonna work on?
So I'm going to continue to work on the pages that I've colored, but if you find any other ones that you flatted, please send them over. I think I have up to barreled shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, I should have at least one.
I thought you did the group shot. I swore I saw that.
I did. Well,
I'll double check with the link you sent me, but I don't.
Okay, maybe I just missed sending
a page because I think you only sent up to barreled like shoulder.
Cool. Okay, I'll look tomorrow when I edit this and stuff. But I'm going to letter as much as I can. I'm gonna have a couple of nights. I'm so excited. Like once we move, when we like situate and we get our stuff over there, it's gonna be so much easier for me to work on things and like get everything done. I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be I mean, we're like our progress is already pretty impressive. I think like we're being productive, and it's cool. Like we're getting a lot done.
Considering like the detail and stuff in this book compared. I mean,
yeah. Oh no,
it's a different, yeah. Like I still want to be quicker. I still want to be quicker on issue 2 when I start drawing it. But now that I have all the characters, like we were discussing, now that we have everything, it's just plugging the pieces in. So it's continuing the same issue. So
oh yeah. But I think it's going well. I think this week we're gonna get a lot done. I had a weird touching moment this week, so I took a break. But I did my stuff. I did more than I think most people. I think it's pretty impressive to get I got like 12 something done. Like it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, great. I'll post the links to some of those songs below so you guys can hear like the kind of stuff I was listening to and like our like silly like banter like playing. It was a touching, interesting week for me for sure. But anyway, I love doing this with you. I had so much fun talking to you and Alex about dragons. Like that was awesome. I was so glad the interview went really well. I can't wait for everyone to see that. So thank you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're only listening on the various podcasting apps, thank you. Thank you to JD. And JD, congratulations on doing your improv thing this weekend. That was awesome. So JD is a talented improviser, and he's like taking steps to do it in front of people, which is like super scary, right? Like I can do this. I can like talk to you, but like doing that on stage in front of people, like, ooh, God, I don't think I have it in me. So
it seems intense. And like I just immediately think of the episode of The Office with Michael Scott, like where he just keeps pulling the gun. He's like, yes. He's like, and then like when he says no, he's like no guns, and he's like, what did he just whisper to you? That he has a gun.
Oh man, I need to rewatch.
But no, like improv is definitely like there's people that just have that skill. That's a skill for sure, So
dude, it's impressive. I love that stuff. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, just please hit the subscribe button. It really does help us. We're so close to reaching our goal of 1,000 subscribers. It just means everything to us. It's completely free, and just one couple little clicks, please. But in any case, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for being part of our colony. Thank you. If you'd like to be interviewed by us, if you want to be on our show and be a part of one of our ridiculous monster segments, or do comic conjectures or any of those things, contact us at twitter.com/wehaveissuespod, or you can email us at wehaveissuespod@gmail.com. We try to get back to everybody. I at least talk to everybody. I'm still trying to plan everything. That's not really, it's in my wheelhouse. I'm learning because I'm good at scheduling my own thing. Like I can be like, I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna draw this, and I'm gonna write this. But as far as being like, I'm gonna like do I'm gonna coordinate my schedule with your schedule, and you can't do it this time. Like I have none of those talents yet. I'm learning, So I'm just like in this weird pool with all these people who are like, "Have you read my book?" And I'm like, "I'm trying," But anyway, just contact us. We will eventually get back to you. We do try to get back to everyone as much as possible. So, and if you don't hear back from us, feel free to send me another message. I'm a human.
We're not going to get upset at you. We're not going to be like, no, nope. We got you. No, we're not those people. Just send as many messages as you need to.
Yeah. No, I do forget sometimes. I try to if I tell you I'm jotting something down, I am. So then that's the thing. But anyway, thank you all so much. Steven, you're the best. I love you so much.
I love you too, Anthony. It was a great night. Alex, was a pleasure.
Yeah, seriously. That guy is too handsome, too funny. It's not
too
cool.
talented. I mean,
I'm going to ride those D&D coattails as freaking long as I can.
He is like if we fused, but then our fusion found like someone that also fused that was like amazing, and then they fused, and then they made him.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane. Like
the alien dragon satanic god Alex.
We talked to the literal devil tonight, everyone. If you're not ready for this interview. It was fantastic, and I can't wait for you all to see it. I'm going to release it as soon as possible. Stay tuned to our channel. If you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll get notifications so you can see our interview with the devil. It went very well. But we love you, and we'll see you next week. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues.
Thank you so much for asking. I've been waiting for this one. I do play the satanic game because I do worship our Lord Satan.
Knew it. Called it. Okay.
And I do wish the world to burn. And my little dice control the fates of all humanity. And I will conquer all of you and consume your souls.
Knew it. We were hoping that's what in the case. We've always wanted a celebrity on. We've been trying to get Kevin Smith or one of those.
So we got the devil himself. So
we settled for the little
Kevin Smith, Satan, right there.
We almost got it.